I welcome you to the Synthesit channel, our dear esteemed consumers. There have been many questions about what Synthesit is, how it works, and how it benefits our body and health. Based on the collection of your questions, we decided to organize this stream in order to better provide these answers. As the original creator of Synthesit, I want to provide my detailed explanations. In my personal opinion, this is a very crucial and important element in promoting our product so that it can better help improve your health, your longevity, and your activity. First of all, I want to say once again that Synthesit is young iron. This is indeed iron that we have synthesized from other chemical elements. From the perspective of modern physics, this is impossible, but we did it. And we have proof of this. First and foremost, the isotope composition. If in the natural isotopic composition, the ratio of isotopes, it is indicated in Wikipedia, you can check. The 54th isotope is 0.5845%, the 56th is DOR5 and 80,845. 91%, 56,091%, 754,000% of the 57th 2 and 119,000%. And the 58th 0.282,000% of stable isotopes of iron. Each of these isotopes is a stable isotope determined by the number and chemical properties of the element, which are determined by the number of protons in the nucleus of a given atom. In an iron atom, there are 26 protons and a different number of neutrons in stable isotopes. That is, it is a different number of neutrons, which are 28, 30, 31, and 32 neutrons, in addition to the protons that define the chemical element iron. We synthesized our iron from other elements, and like regular iron, it also has 4 isotopes, but actually their ratio is slightly different. Here you can see all of this in our comprehensive video presentation. So we have isotope 54, 5.370 thousandths, 56th, 91.320, 57th, 2.269 thousandths of a percent, and 58th in this batch, we have 1.044 thousandths of a percent. That is, the ratio of stable isotopes that make up our synthesite iron is slightly different. That is, this iron is young, it is several billion years younger than any other iron in the solar system. Why young iron works, and the reasons for its higher activity with organic substances, with organisms, including the human body. I think science still needs to study in more detail, in particular, more. But I want to say one thing, our iron has a beneficial effect, primarily on the blood. Our blood is red because the erythrocytes, which are essentially the foundation of our circulatory system, consist of iron that is primarily responsible for carrying and transporting oxygen. That is, oxidation occurs in the lungs, and then the red blood cells, which contain iron, carry this oxygen to every organ and every cell in our body, such as the heart and brain, for example, in our body. And whether oxygen reaches this cell, and then, naturally, the red blood cells take away the cell's waste products, that is carbon dioxide, possibly what is produced by the cell in the process of its activity, and carry it back and remove it through various organic processes. In this case, the questions you asked, and I believe these questions, require answers. Here, someone writes, "Hello. A retired person diagnosed with atherosclerosis by doctors had a heart attack 5 years ago and is currently taking Zynox Red and LTO. Will Synthesit help him?" Well, end of quote. I do not want to comment on the specific medications that the person is currently taking, specifically Zynon and Xarelto, but I want to say one important thing, that Synthesit helps, irrespective of whether or not a person feels it or not. I would like to mention this in particular. The action of Synthesit occurs as a result of the introduction of iron atoms into the blood. And within approximately about an hour after taking Synthesit, if taken orally in capsules, it enters our iron into the blood. And in the blood, disaggregation occurs, the separation of clumped erythrocytes. This is the most important and very significant part of Synthesit's action. There are also some other aspects of Synthesit's action. I think they enter the cells, and some nuclear processes occur there as well. In this case, when Synthesit enters the bloodstream, it separates clumped erythrocytes. On 11/11/2021, we conducted a control analysis. You see the red blood cells before taking Synthesit, and they are not clumped together. A control test. That is, you see the red blood cells before taking Synthesit, and they are not really clumped together. There you go, there. And an hour after taking it, all the red blood cells unclumped, and consequently, the fluidity improved. Why is that? It's important. I'll explain now. I just want to show the clumped red blood cells. These are all relatively young people of middle age, even, so to speak, younger than middle age. So, look here. On the left side, you see clumped red blood cells, kind of like clumped vermicelli. And on the right, an hour after taking Synthesit. Well, in this case, it was necessary to take Synthesit twice, once after an hour, and then after 2 hours, because such clumped structures were difficult to initiate, the declumping, the disaggregation. Just one portion of our Synthesit had to be taken twice in order to achieve the desired effect. As a result, if we look at how the circulatory system works, we see that the blood moves through guests to the capillaries, through the blood vessels. These are not yet capillaries. These are blood vessels. And at some point, these clumping erythrocytes significantly slow down the blood flow. And when the blood flow slows down, these red blood cells, the oxygen they carry, accordingly, do not reach the cells they are supposed to reach. And therefore, in response to your question about whether Synthesit will help or not, I want to say unequivocally that if you are taking Synthesit, then to this, some aggregations of red blood cells significantly hinder blood flow, resulting in inadequate oxygen delivery to various organs, tissues, and cells of the body. This issue is resolved by the action of Synthesit, which effectively improves fluidity. And in this situation, blood starts flowing to the heart. The heart, some accompanying organs, such as the lungs and other vital functions, and human life becomes easier and improves. I would definitely say that in some particular cases, maybe it does recover. All diseases that occur as a direct result of a lack of oxygen in certain specific organs. Moreover, one of the German Nobel laureates in 1932 said a remarkable phrase that all cancer problems arise as a result of hypoxia. What is hypoxia? Hypoxia is a lack of oxygen in the human body. So, Synthesit, through its action, significantly improves blood flow in a way that no other drug or medicine does, allowing oxygen to be delivered to all vital organs and tissues in the body. And effectively, naturally, these tissues receive nourishment and life in the body is restored. This concerns not only cardiovascular diseases, but all human organs. People who take Synthesit say that after starting it, within an hour, they felt better and experienced a surge of strength. Sometimes people don't fully associate this with Synthesit, but strength appears, energy appears. People start thinking better. They become more physically active, they become more energetic, and they gain additional energy. The incentive, perhaps, is that a healthy person is in general overall more productive. An incentive to focus more on your own tasks, your work, and become more productive. Well, here are some more clots in the vessels. You can take a look. Here you can see either cholesterol deposits or calcium deposits, such as in the vessels and, for example, in the arteries. And in these accumulations, indeed, erythrocytes gather which cannot break through these clots. So, we conducted experiments with monkeys, meaning that before releasing our product to the market, we carried out very serious experimental research with mice and monkeys. No dietary supplement undergoes the series of studies that we have conducted. The research with mice is posted on our site, and with monkeys as well. You can read it at the bottom of the page in our main research section. It's there. So, in a nutshell, I want to say that in the test mice that received Synthesit, the number of stem cells produced increased by 2.5 times compared to the control group. So, there was a control group and an experimental group. In the experimental group, the hemopoietic zone, which is where stem cells appear, and stem cells are the cells from which all the cells of the body are eventually created. So it enters the body, is directed by some system of the liver, and replaces a worn-out cell. This means that an older cell is replaced by a younger one. So, we tested on mice, in the lab, and on monkeys, and in the field. When we tested on older monkeys, the monkeys that received Synthesit had a 40% reduction in cholesterol levels, bad cholesterol, over the period they took Synthesit, which was about a month, significantly over time. There are also a number of various enzymes that are indicators of age. These enzymes decreased in these monkeys. This indicates that Synthesit affects the blood in a way that nothing else does. I emphasize not a single drug. Despite the fact that this is a dietary supplement, I want to emphasize once again, this is not a drug. It does not cure. It's just the iron that we synthesized. It has these properties, let's call them youthful, rejuvenating the body. Why did we start using this iron in the field of medicine in the first place historically? And initially we focused more on natural research, trying to synthesize various elements, and we succeeded in creating iron. In this case, they referred to some ancient and medieval sources, where there are mentions that young iron or young gold, which has just been created, is specifically noted as young, meaning fresh, and it has a very positive effect on the body. I have come to the conclusion that among the statements of medieval specialists, including such a renowned creator of modern European science and medicine, the Swiss scientist Paracelsus, who lived in the 16th century, he specifically mentioned that a young chemical element indeed rejuvenates the body, notably, significantly. He mentioned gold, but I definitely think iron is no worse than gold because it is part of our metabolism. In our metabolism, just like, for example, oxygen in our metabolism, there is no gold in our metabolism. 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 Perhaps gold can also have an effect. In any case, this iron definitely has a very positive impact on the human body. A person who regularly and consistently takes Synthesit significantly improves the fluidity of their blood. And with improved blood fluidity, the blood and red blood cells effectively reach every cell in the body because there are blood vessels and there are capillaries. So, the width of the capillaries, their diameter, if the diameter of a red blood cell is 5 to 6 nanometers, then the diameter of the capillary is 3 nanometers, meaning it is smaller than the red blood cell. And it can only get there, the erythrocyte, under pressure. So it penetrates the capillary, under pressure, delivers oxygen to the cells, and takes it away. The fact that the cell releases the essential and necessary products of its vital activity, if these red blood cells are clumped together, even just 2 of them, they won't be able to pass through the capillary. Accordingly, your sheet or organs will not receive the oxygen they need, such as so. Synthesit, by essentially and effectively disaggregating these or erythrocytes, allows them to efficiently reach each and every single cell in your body. And this is the uniqueness of our product, which is truly remarkable and innovative, called Synthesit. The questions you asked, they are important in the market today. Well, it's not that they are identical, they are different. Good afternoon. What do you recommend? My hair, nails, joints, and blood vessels hurt. I have type 2 diabetes. Which Synthesit? What course? How to take it? I will emphasize once again, indeed, all ailments occur because during life, especially as a person ages and reaches a certain age threshold, various parts of their circulatory system get clogged with different thrombi. And it leads to oxygen deficiency, hypoxia, and starvation. This fasting can lead to various consequences. Well, everything that happens in our body occurs one way or another due to a lack of oxygen supply to your organs. This is the most important thing. And Synthesit is a unique remedy that has no analogs, which helps restore your natural blood circulation by improving the flow of blood through your veins and arteries. It is specifically designed to target and enhance the body's natural processes, ensuring optimal health and well-being. It allows red blood cells to deliver oxygen and possibly some other substances and other essential nutrients too for all organs. There are studies on Synthesit involving cancer patients who received chemotherapy and simultaneously and also took Synthesit. And these patients, after chemotherapy, as Doctor of Medical Sciences, Professor Oynatkanova, explained, those who took Synthesit in the form of an elixir for faster absorption were able to literally get behind the wheel and drive home, or attend to their affairs half an hour to an hour after the injection, chemotherapy, which is a heavy injection. And those who did not receive Synthesit during chemotherapy had a significantly harder time. So, this is just one of those facts. I hope that meetings like the one we had today will happen more often and more frequently, because there are questions and the public doesn't always understand what their body is and how to properly help it. Unfortunately, people greatly overestimate the opinions and advice of doctors. The thing is, doctors are quite a conservative audience who only recommend what has been tested for decades or a very long time, and they do not respond well to modern discoveries in their field. In general, they are cautious. We definitely noticed it, paid attention to it, but in this case, each person is absolutely their own doctor because they feel in what they need and what helps them. Although I want to say, once again, that doctors are indeed also collaborating with us. There are many talented, knowledgeable people who, in principle, recommend Synthesit, have tried Synthesit themselves and recommend it because there are resuscitators who have saved lives using Synthesit. This is because only Synthesit can so effectively disaggregate these clumped erythrocytes. That is, perhaps there are some very complex, heavy, expensive medications that need to be injected, possibly, but to maintain oneself at the proper level, one's body, I think that Synthesit is a quite serious and powerful means. I sometimes browse forums where people frequently respond, including giving their recommendations and opinions about Synthesit and its effects. And very often we come across statements like, why do we need this Synthesit? All this nonsense thins the blood. It does everything that's needed, like aspirin, for example. This is a very deep misconception. The fact is that aspirin is a remedy that increases the amount of fluid in the blood, but it cannot disaggregate these clumped erythrocytes. So, it's simply, well, basically, as a result of some chemical formula entering the body, it essentially helps retain fluid in the blood and absorb fluids into the blood. But if you add it to the liquid where these clumps of erythrocytes are floating, such as in a test tube, and the thrombosis will not disappear, for example. Do you understand? This is the most important thing. There will simply be more fluids, but these large clots, they will remain as they are. This is already a known fact. Specialists talk about it. Please listen. Synthesit is a remedy that has no analogs. Here's something else I would like to point out. Sometimes the public criticizes us, saying that Synthesit is too expensive. So, here as well. Well, I have to answer, this is not iron that is dug out of the ground from some mines. This iron we synthesize. Yes, indeed, we synthesize and produce it using a very complex and extremely costly method, and only in very small quantities. As an analogy, a very rough analogy, I have information that in India, according to some very ancient recipes, iron is extracted from the juice of certain plants and some kind of product is created. I won't name it It is in demand among wealthy people. It has been produced for a long time, and it is made by one of the Europeans. So just so you understand, the price of that product compared to our product is approximately 150 times cheaper. So you understand, our product is 150 times cheaper, and I think that this is indeed a very significant amount, truly indicating that we have achieved great success in this particular field. I hope that together we will all appreciate the actions of Synthesit. It will help your health, help you stay active and productive, support your loved ones and friends, and keep you ahead of everyone. This is because a person who takes Synthesit will see an increase in their productive period, das of life, and we made this product for you, for all the people. Thank you all.